What's up guys, it's Kyle from Villain Gaming, and today I have some more Nintendo news to share for you. So last week, right after I dropped my other video about the state of Nintendo, Nintendo decided to drop some big news. This news is probably one of the biggest things we've heard of Nintendo for years. They announced that they will be releasing mobile games for iOS and Android. And it's crazy that they are not going to have Nintendo games solely on their platforms anymore. What they did though, so fanboys wouldn't get mad, was release that they're also working on another console. Now, for both Sony and Microsoft, this wouldn't be big news. As soon as the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One drops, you know that they're already working on the PlayStation 5 or whatever the next Xbox will be. But the thing that was really worrying about Nintendo for so long was that we weren't sure if they were going to stick with the consoles. The Wii U hasn't done very well, and the 3DS hasn't done nearly as well as the DS did before it. So this was news to just basically keep the Nintendo fans happy and let them know that Nintendo isn't going to abandon their systems and that they will keep on making games that everybody loves and not just bad iOS ports. So many people were very pissed off that Nintendo decided to do mobile games, but Iwata has had pressure from investors for years now to put their games on the mobile space. But what is good about Nintendo is that they aren't just going to port games over. I mean, we saw games like Chrono Trigger get ported over, and the controls for that on iOS is just kind of terrible, honestly. And Nintendo has always been known for their tight platforming and their great controls. And Iwata doesn't want that to be trashed by bringing it over to iOS where you have to have some digital joystick or D-pad. And I mean, most core gamers know how games on iOS are. They're usually just things that you open up to play occasionally if you're really bored. They don't have very hardcore gameplay, and many of those games on there are just clones of other games. Like, once Flappy Bird came out, there was a ridiculous amount of clones for that game. Anywhere from like Flappy Fish to pancakes to anything that you could think of, they made a Flappy Bird clone of. I mean, not all iOS games are terrible. You have games like 80 Days, Monument Valley, and Framed, and those are great experiences. But those games are few and far between. Now, what I hope Nintendo does is completely change the landscape of the iOS store. You know, many iOS gamers aren't core gamers, and they see $5 for a video game on there, and they don't want to pay it. So those games like Monument Valley, they get left in the dust, except for really hardcore gamers who see that and pick it up and have a lot of fun with it. So what I hope Nintendo does is price their games at around $5 and show people that there are great core experiences on the iOS that are worth the $5, so that maybe those other games like Monument Valley, they will sell better because more casual gamers will be able to pay for them because they're like, oh, I bought a Nintendo game that was totally worth that $5. So this can only be good for the gaming industry as a whole. If people are willing to pay $5 for a game on iOS, that means that we'll have less free-to-play games, freemium games, and just a generally better space for more core gamers to play. And also this could bring more casual gamers over to gaming systems like PlayStation 4 and Xbox. So what I think is really awesome about this news is that Iwata himself stated that they won't just be making ports of older games. They're going to be partnering with a company called DNA, and they're going to essentially create a platform of games that can transfer over to their core systems. So these games on iOS are just going to give you little glimpses of what you can get on full Nintendo consoles. So this will really boost console sales if a lot of gamers seem to enjoy what they put on iOS. So this is great for Nintendo and the industry as a whole. We're going to see a lot better games for iOS, and hopefully Nintendo will be able to dig themselves out of the hole that they've been in for a while. Alright guys, that's what I think about the Nintendo news. Now let me know in the comments what you think. And don't forget to rate and subscribe to my channel. And have a good one.